Could a Killzone crossover be in the works for Helldivers 2? A new leaked Warbond may suggest this. We are going to be diving into all of this in today's video, so grab a hot cup of liberty and let's dive right into the video. To begin, what we are going to do is look at the contents of this leaked Warbond, the weapons, gameplay and armor, then later on discuss how Killzone falls into all of this. Warbond, the very heavily Killzone inspired Warbond, which I'm saying very loosely because it's literally all the same stuff from the game. Now this is interesting because at first glance I did not take much notice of the crest on the side of the armor and the sniper that I believe is also from Killzone. It has been years, and I mean years, since I even touched a Killzone game. Interestingly enough, the anniversary for Killzone was on the 2nd of November. More on this later in the video. Now looking back at the franchise and refreshing my memory, all of this is pretty much what is in Killzone, like this right here. The armor matches exactly the same armor in this Warbond, so yeah, it definitely shouts to me a crossover or just a Warbond inspired. But personally, I think it's right in front of our faces. The first armor showcased by tier 5 NPC is this one, AC2 Obedient Light, which just looks sick. I love how detailed these armor pieces are. They almost look like finished models. If they were fan made, I do not think they'd be so detailed. Most fan made Warbonds are usually made with AI. There is gameplay, as I mentioned, of the weapons, so to me this is not fan made or modded. I'd be very surprised if it was. The second armor showcased is this right here, AC1 Dutiful Medium. Dutiful, okay, not dutiful, whatever the hell I was saying in my last video. Yeah, dutiful, okay, dutiful. He goes on to show the armor, and this does look like a spitting image of what we see in the Killzone franchise. Taking a look back now, it is pretty much identical. When I did my last video and mentioned this Warbond briefly, I just kind of said what came to mind. It's been a long time, man, honestly, since I played or set my eyes on anything Killzone related. The armor passive says this right here. Armor passive provides 50% resistance to fire, gas, acid and electrical damage. Now onto the weapons. This is what we are all most excited for. You're going to love it. The STA-52 assault rifle light armor pen. This is very similar, if not the same, as the weapons from Killzone, like this one right here. They are pretty much exactly the same. This rifle reminds me of the FAMAS from Call of Duty, you know, some sort of futuristic version of that weapon. Looking at this leaked Warbond with fresh eyes, it has to be a crossover. I mean, everything in this Warbond is pretty much, yes, identical to Killzone itself, so it has to be a crossover. Unless it's a Warbond inspired by Killzone, but I don't know how that would work with copyright. And legit, as you guys have said in my previous video about the crest on the armor, it has to be a crossover. I mean, it can't be anything else. The next weapon is the STA-11 SMG. To me, it looks like a Bison submachine gun from Call of Duty, if that's how you say it. Most of these weapons are basically just futuristic versions of what we have right now, you know, in real life, in modern times. I don't know the real names for the FAMAS or the Bison. I'm just literally going by Call of Duty. The next weapon is the Plaz 39 acceleration rifle, and this is apparently a burst sniper rifle, which looks badass. Probably going to do some serious damage against the illuminate. Okay, I just want to say, is it the illuminant, right, or the illuminate? It's hella confusing. Some people say illuminate, some people say illuminant, and in game they say illuminant, yet it's spelt illuminate. Comment and let me know, because yeah, it's just so confusing. Now, tier 5 NPC did actually showcase gameplay of these weapons in action, so give this video a watch and we will be right back to democracy. With these being tested in-game, it does confirm that they must be somewhat official. It's not modded from what I can tell. There is a new stratagem as well, the Wasp Launcher. Yeah, sounds pretty mad. STAX-3 Wasp Launcher, a versatile missile launcher loaded with 7 lock-on humming missiles. These can either be fired from the launcher directly or as an air burst, includes support backpack required for reloading, produced by Stall Arms. Man, to me that sounds absolutely wild, and I would love that for Democracy. That would be absolutely amazing against the bugs. If anything, just imagine in a future update the possibility of switching around the rounds in the grenade launchers from incendiary grenades to thermites to impact grenades. That would be really cool. I interrupt this video to say, if you are enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe for Managed Democracy, and you will help a Mexican Helldiver find free housing support on Super Earth. As long as they keep making great tacos, I will keep smuggling them across the Super Earth border. A very powerful medium minigun-like explosive stratagem that can easily shred heavies and shaft equally, with a normal handheld and mortar mode that automatically locks on to the closest enemy to the holder, 2-second lock on time, with the drawback that this weapon locks on anything that is closest regardless enemy or not. It struggles to lock onto things extremely close to you, up in your face, and the weapon will not fire until it has locked onto something. Deploy time 3 seconds, cooldown time 6.8 minutes, can go up to 8 to 10 depending on planetary effects. Ammo economy 5 rounds. To me, those drawbacks aren't really anything major, but 5 rounds, that's I think that needs to be worked on. Come on, 5 rounds. 5 rounds. Don't get me wrong, I think this sounds awesome, but I would rather more than 5 rounds. I mean, the recoilless rifle has more than that from what I know. Plus, you know, grenade launchers don't go as far as like rocket launchers do, you know, when it comes to damage. So I would think at least you'd have like 10 or 15, because in my opinion, I'd rather just use a grenade launcher. You know, if I was only going to have 5 rounds of that Wasp launcher, I would just pick up the grenade launcher. That's just my opinion. There is also a grenade battlement stratagem, if that's how you say it. As tier 5 NPC says here, it's been featured before, so I won't say much about this either, as I covered this stratagem in a video some time ago as well. Lastly, he shows something really weird, okay? Something quite strange. Yes, this meme that just seems to be having a spaz attack, literally a spaz attack. This is not related at all, but that was my reaction when the illuminates dropped, okay? As I said previously, I had a mental breakdown. Now guys, from all of this information, let me know in the comments, do you think this hints at a Killzone crossover? I personally believe so. Just take this with a pinch of salt, because anything is literally bound to change. Everything in this Warbond is pretty much identical to Killzone. The weapons, armor, literally everything. So drop some comments, have a discussion. Do you think this is a official crossover with Killzone? Because to me, with all of this evidence so far, I really think so. Moving on, in relation to all of this, when could we see a Killzone crossover? If this was ever to happen, let's try and find out. Apparently the anniversary for Killzone is on the 2nd of November, as I mentioned earlier in this video, and if that is right, then this could be a Warbond for a very far time period later next year in 2025, unless they have a comeback planned for way sooner. Killzone is a PlayStation exclusive, just like Helldivers. Sony could be using Helldivers as a way of promoting a new Killzone game. If it's a remake or a new game in general, this would be awesome. I remember when I was younger, finishing my paper rounds, gathering as much money as I could, to grab some new games from my local game shop, Killzone amongst many other classic games I was brought up on. We do have information on Killzone as of right now though, because apparently Guerrilla Games completely ignored the anniversary for Killzone. Killzone 20th anniversary ignored by Guerrilla Games. Killzone fans noticed that Guerrilla made no mention of the first-person shooter franchise's 20th anniversary on its website or social media channels. A Killzone rival has been requested for years, but Guerrilla's remarks indicate that the series will stay dormant unless licensed to an external studio. So is this done on purpose? Are they planning something? A reveal for next year? As we saw with the latest Helldivers 2 update, of course studios won't announce everything, and you know, sometimes they just want to surprise people. Just look at the Illuminate update, you know, no one knew that was coming, it was speculated for a long time, there was nothing said by the developers, and then boom, they just randomly dropped. I don't think, from what I know, we had any mention at the Game Awards or anything this year regarding Killzone. So what is going on? Killzone franchise ended with the 2023 PS4 launch title Killzone Shadowfall, while the final mainline Killzone entry accrued praise for its beautiful graphics and slick gameplay. Reviewers deducted points for a lackluster campaign, leading to a cumulative 73% score on Metacritic. However, Guerrilla ultimately made the switch to Horizon franchise with 2017's mega successful Horizon Zero Dawn. There you go. We have the answer. They're probably just milking that franchise, Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, what else could it be? I mean, it's a good game, but I think a lot of us would rather a Killzone remake or a brand new Killzone game, okay? Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most people would like that right now. On a serious note, if we would ever see a Killzone crossover, it would most likely be at a game event or the anniversary of PlayStation or Killzone itself, like November 2nd, 2025, which is a long way away unless it came sooner. Perhaps maybe next year when we have more game showcases and awards, Guerrilla Games may give us a little sneak peek of what they're working on, if it's a reboot of the Killzone franchise or a remake in general. Guerrilla Games didn't even acknowledge Killzone's 20th anniversary on social media. Yeah, this franchise ain't ever coming back. I mean, with this leak, it tells a complete different story. It could be over and done with. However, maybe Guerrilla Games have agreed to do a crossover, and that's all this is. Nothing more, nothing less, just a crossover for Helldivers 2. And since obviously Helldivers and Killzone are in the same boat, you know, they're both PlayStation exclusives, this would definitely make sense. However, why go through all this trouble unless obviously, you know, it's just for the money? But to me, I think they could be using Helldivers as a way of promoting a reboot of the franchise. Who knows, man? All we can wish for is this to be true. And if it is, I will give free liberty to all who is watching. Drop me a comment. Would you like a Killzone crossover? I would 100%. Thank you for watching. You guys are legends. Until next time, go and conquer the galaxy for managed democracy, and I will see you in the next video.